Thousands of victims of the infected blood scandal suffered incredibly bad luck, according to the former Prime Minister, Sir John Major. Sir John, who later apologised for his choice of words, told the Infected Blood Inquiry in London that no amount of money could have offered a true level of compensation for what happened. 30,000 people contracted HIV and hepatitis C during the 70s and 80s as a result of the blood clotting treatment they were given in what's been called the biggest treatment disaster in NHS history. Our health and social care editor, Victoria McDonald, reports.
Blood products imported from the United States to the UK, leaving thousands with HIV or hepatitis C, or indeed both. There were audible gasps in today's infected blood inquiry, however, as the former Prime Minister, John Major, said the victims had suffered bad luck.
There's no amount of compensation you can give that could actually compensate for what had happened to them. What had happened to them was incredibly bad luck, awful, and it was not something that anybody was unsympathetic to.
The blood products given to those with the clotting disorder Hemophilia had been donated by, amongst others, American prisoners, sex workers and drug addicts, all imported in the 70s and 80s.
Why wasn't it just bad luck?
Because we knew back in the 1970s, we've heard this from politicians then, that there was a risk of importing blood, there was a risk and there was a drive to become self-sufficient in the late 70s and early 80s, which didn't happen. And all the warning signs were there and government didn't heed those warnings.
Anywhere between 5,000 and 30,000 people were infected in what's considered to be the biggest medical disaster in this country. The true numbers, though, will never really be known. Nearly 3,000, though, are thought to have died. Richard Warwick was infected with hepatitis B and C and HIV after being given the contaminated blood clotting factor 8. He was a pupil at Trelaw College in Hampshire. There were 70 boys who'd been infected there. Only 17 are still alive.
It's something I wake up every day and have that in the back of my mind, and ask myself why am I still here? What have I done to be here? And what's different about me?
At one point during today's hearing, John Major talked about the bad luck of haemophiliacs.
Yeah, bad luck. There was no bad luck involved. It was a calculated decision to import these infected products from all corners of the world, particularly and specifically from America, from deprived areas.
What the inquiry heard today from the former Prime Minister really was about the mechanics of how the government came to agree that haemophiliacs infected with HIV did deserve compensation. But there was real concern, we heard, about setting a precedent. They didn't want other people who might have been affected or infected by other adverse events to come forward, thereby opening the floodgates.
Finally, in 1991, payments were made to about 1,400 people, though not immediately to those with hepatitis C. And only last month, an independent report called for interim payments to be made urgently because people may wish, the author said, to settle their affairs before they die.
Victoria McDonald there.